So when I heard that I got this fundraiser, I was so excited because it's the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
And
At Chapel Street.
At Chapel Street. And you know, and to have the 50th annual fundraiser was such an exciting opportunity for me. And so this musical was a perfect fit for that. It has, well, it's not set in a bedroom.
Right.
All the humor is sort of bedroom
there.
humor.
Yes, yes.
You know, a lot of sexual innuendos.
Yes.
And,
a lot of mistaken identity, people coming running around, going in and out. And
Exactly. Almost like the bedroom farce where there's all these doors. And although we don't literally have doors everywhere, but there's all this running back and forth.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a perfect fit for what we needed.
Everybody ought to have a maid. Someone who's efficient and reliable, obedient and pliable. Quieter than a mouse.
I've directed Renee before, but now in her 50th fundraiser.
yes, Renee O'Leary is in her 50th fundraiser here at Chapel Street, has been in every one. She started when she was 2.
Yes, or minus 10.
Right.
Yeah, and so the challenge is, because I've directed other shows with her in the fundraiser, I'm not going to be the first director not to cast her, particularly not in the 50th. So the challenge then was finding the right character for her in this musical. I'd chosen the musical actually before I figured out what role we were going to fill her as. And I remember actually we had a lot of discussions at the beginning about, so I'm not going to give away what it is,
No.
but I think that we have the perfect match for her.
Absolutely, yes.
You also have a lot of physical humor. It's slapstick, you know, the Proteans. A lot of what they're doing is almost in the style of the Three Stooges in some ways.
Yes.
And so you'll even have the straight man, who ironically isn't played by a straight man, but is the straight man in the show too. That it really gives us a chance for the audience to see in one musical, in one show, you know, where shows usually have sort of a strand of humor. It's the way that they see it.
Yes.
But this one actually explores all the different sides.
So you're really getting a lot of entertainment in one thing.
Yes, exactly. So one of the things that was really exciting about working on this show and directing it was that it gave me time to really explore all the different kinds of humor. I remember when we were first doing a characterization rehearsal with the cast, we started to identify that every single person was a different style of humor. You know, we have, you know, certainly the bedroom farce side of it, but then also you have the ones that are the stand-up comedians, and that's the role that they fill. So as with any show, when we start planning, we actually start planning more than a year in advance. You know, we heard about that we had this show last April, I guess, but the planning had already started even before that. We had started roughing out the set design, which actually is remarkably the same as what we had sort of started with. It's been adapted along the way, but it's pretty similar. But it was certainly a challenge thinking of how are we going to get 3 houses onto Chapel Street stage, such a small stage. It's only 30 feet across and about 15 feet deep. And how in the world do you get all this set onto that? And working out, you know, we had our music director, but then trying to find, you know, could we get the same choreographer that we worked with before, who we loved working with.
Right.
And there's just so many pieces that have to come together.
Yes, absolutely. Not to mention just the set, but also the actors in terms of the costumes and wanting to reflect in their costumes the sort of the style and tenor of the show, and it being sort of a farce, and to have the colors and have that come alive. And we have a lot of costumes because we have a lot of casts. We've got 18 people in the cast, I think.
Right, yeah, more so than in the past. We've had a lot of other people helping with building the costumes. And the colors are really important because we really thought carefully about, with the set, it being very bright and colorful, still holding on to that Roman time a little bit, but then moving it a little bit more towards, you know, towards comic or towards a cartoon or something, so that it's very bright and colorful. But that really fits the style of the musical.
Yes, yes.
So, fittingly, this is also the 50th anniversary of it winning the Tony, which I would love to say I actually knew that ahead of time. When I was doing research on the play or the musical, I figured that out after the fact, but it's just so fitting. And so this, you know, it's hard to believe that this show's actually been around for 50 years and that it still is so funny.
Yes.
And I think that this is a true crowd pleaser for a show.
Yeah.
And so this is definitely something that you should come to. A funny thing happened on the way to the Forum in June.